Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Amazing Shinsengumi, Heroes in Love. We're on Nagakura Shinpachi's route. And on Chapter 7, Forgive Me. I don't know if I want to know what we have to forgive, or is he having to forgive me or me having to forgive him? I don't know. We'll find out. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. The battlefield that put Kyoto aflame ended with Choshu losing. However, it continued to spread. The fire left its name in history books. The Shinsengumi naturally put effort into putting out the fires until morning. They didn't return to the base until the day after. Shinpachi looked exhausted. I held him up and carried him to his room. Shinpachi, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just a little tired.
Shinpachi fell into the futon I laid out for him. I was so glad Shinpachi came back to me. I put a blanket over him.
Oh, thanks.
He looked like he was about to fall asleep at any minute, but he smiled as he spoke to me.
Hey, could you wake me up in the evening? Apparently, the leaders of the Shinsengumi are all having a meeting.
I see. Sure, I can do that. I'll wake you up.
Thanks, you're a lifesaver. I'm in your hands.
He fell asleep soon after saying that. I smiled after looking at Shinpachi's defenseless face. I stroked his hair. I quietly left his room so I wouldn't wake him up. When I did, I started to feel bitter stares. I turned around quickly and saw the soldiers in the hallway staring at me. They're doing it again. Don't you know it's rude to stare? They were the same stares I felt yesterday. I don't know why they were doing it. I thought I should talk to Shinpachi about it, but he was so exhausted, I couldn't talk to him about it. Feeling uneasy, I tried not to think about it and concentrated on working. I'm sure this will all pass over soon. Without any basis, I thought that. I soon learned that it wasn't that easy of a problem to solve. Ignorant to the truth, I endured the stares and started cleaning the base. I dedicated myself to cleaning, and before I knew it, it became dark. Go wake him up! Oh yeah, Shinpachi asked me to wake him up when it became dark. I remembered my promise to Shinpachi and went to wake him up. As I did, a soldier passing by pierced me with his cold stare. It's that stare again. Why are they doing that? I'll ask Shinpachi this time around. I went to Shinpachi's room. However... Huh? I opened the door, but Shinpachi wasn't there. Shinpachi? It looked like he had already gotten up. The futon was folded up and put away. Did he wake up on his own? Apparently. If that's the case, where did he go? He said the leaders of the Shinsengumi were having a meeting. Maybe it started already. For some reason, I started to feel uneasy. I made sure Shinpachi wasn't in the room. I thought it was strange and left his room. I suddenly realized something. The base was unusually quiet. If it had been like usual, soldiers would be around practicing with their swords and goofing around with each other. Nevertheless, it was completely silent. It felt like everything around me was tense. I couldn't get rid of the uneasy feeling. I went to see Shinpachi and rid myself of my anxiety. No matter where I looked in the base, Shinpachi was nowhere to be found. In my engulfing anxiety, someone called my name as I walked down the hallway.
Chizuru.
I turned around, and Hajime was there, silently looking down on me. Hajime rarely ever came to Shinpachi's side of the base. This was the first or second time I saw him here. What brings him here today? I thought it was strange. As I remembered the strange atmosphere, I couldn't stay calm. After he called my name, Hajime just continued staring at me silently. Hajime, is something wrong? Shinpachi isn't in his room. I'm looking for him, but I can't seem to find him.
No, I don't have any business with Shinpachi.
Huh? Then why are you here? After hearing my question, he was silent for a bit, then continued talking. Oh God, my stupid sinuses.
I was looking for you, Chizuru.
Me? Why?
Vice Captain Hijikata wants to see you. He told me to bring you to his side of the base.
Toshizo? I was confused, but Hajime kept focusing on me and spoke.
There's something I want to ask you.
What is it?
Are you in love with Shinpachi?
What? I was so surprised by his question, I couldn't speak clearly. I can't believe he asked me that. What should I tell him? I will be truthful. Yes, I love him. I answered honestly. If it was something about Shinpachi, I couldn't tell a lie.
I see.
Hajime made a gesture like he was thinking about something. He then faced me and said some unexpected words. This is the longest conversation we've had with him so far. Don't worry, we're going after you soon, buddy.
I believe in you.
Huh? What do you mean you believe in me?
It's your personality. I didn't ask you that question because I wanted to know its answer. I wanted to see what kind of person you were based on the answer you gave me.
Huh? I didn't understand what Hajime was trying to tell me, not in the least. He wanted to see my personality, then he says he believes in me. What is he talking about? I tilted my head, and Hajime continued talking. Well, his smile's gone.
I'll take you to Vice Captain Hijikata now. No matter what he says to you, keep your faith, don't waver. No matter what happens to you. That is all I can tell you.
It seemed like he had a deep meaning behind his words. I stood quietly and crossed my arms. I didn't understand what Hajime meant, but he took me to Toshizo's part of the base. When I entered the room, Toshizo stared at me with somewhat strict eyes.
Ms. Yukimura, I called you here today to ask you something.
Yes? What is it?
I didn't want to say this, but there is a high possibility that you're a spy sent by the Choshu domain.
Huh? Me? A spy?
Tell us the truth. We plan on overlooking this, more or less. Well?
I'm no spy.
Our inspectors are thorough. We give our comrades precedence.
Even if you say that, what's false is false.
Well then, this means you deny being a spy, right?
Of course, I'm really not a spy. All of a sudden, everyone thought I was a spy. I was so confused. Why did this happen all of a sudden? I finally understood the reason for everyone's cold stares. They thought I might have been a spy. I'm sure this is what Hajime was talking about when he said he believed in me. Even if I understood these things, that didn't change the current situation. Of all things, they thought I was a spy. In other words, the Shinsengumi's enemy. I was on the brink of tears. And what did he mean exactly by, we plan on overlooking this more or less? I unconsciously started thinking about Shinpachi. Does Shinpachi know about this? Shinpachi, where are you? Please save me. When I shouted that in my mind...
Excuse me.
Right before my eyes, Shinpachi appeared. Shinpachi! Pleading for his aid, I looked directly at him. However, Shinpachi didn't even glance at me.
Shinpachi, so you came. I leave the rest to you.
Is this a test? Are they testing me?
Okay.
Toshizo glanced at me and then left the room. It was just Shinpachi and me in the room. Shinpachi, I was confused and didn't understand what was going on. I wanted Shinpachi to save me. Unfortunately, he didn't look at me. He just hung his head low. Shinpachi, what's wrong? It can't be. Do you think I'm a... As I asked him, Shinpachi interrupted me mid-speech.
Chizuru, are you a spy?
I was astonished at his words. His words, his tone, were soaked in prejudice against me. How many times do I have to say it? I'm not a spy! Sounds like you guys have already made up your mind, though. I was so depressed, I couldn't even talk.
Well, are you? Answer me.
Why are you asking like that? Hurt, I looked at Shinpachi and answered. I'm not a spy. There's no way I'd do that. I'm not a spy. Why are you doubting me? I threw my gushing sorrow at Shinpachi.
I didn't want to doubt you. I didn't want to believe you were a spy. But I don't want to doubt my friends either.
As he said his piece, he looked at me intensely.
Take off your clothes.
What? Now's not the time, Shinpachi. I couldn't believe what I just heard. What do you mean, take off your clothes?
This is how the Shinsengumi deal with suspects. We strip them and make them confess.
That can't be.
Vice Captain Hijikata is the one that usually carries this out. I asked him if he would let me do it this time. I didn't want another man to see you naked.
Shinpachi.
But doubting you
and making you strip is just too cruel. I know this. I know, but I'm a member of the Shinsengumi.
Shinpachi? I had a feeling that making their suspect strip was a form of humiliation. Right now, the person I love is telling me to do that. Is there anything more depressing? I couldn't bear with the great sorrow I felt inside of me. I was desperate, just trying to hold in my tears.
Strip yourself, or I'll take your clothes off. You choose.
Do I have to get naked no matter what? If it will clear my name, then I'll take my clothes off. It was getting hot in here anyway. I'll take them off myself. I said that and put my hand on my kimono. He came closer and grabbed my hand.
Oh, I'll take them off. Forgive me.
Shinpachi put his hands on the strap at my waist and pulled it. My kimono came loose and my bare skin was exposed. My skin was exposed through the cracks of the loose kimono. I was so embarrassed. Shinpachi looked like he was in pain, but he stretched his hand out toward my body.
I'm going to make sure you weren't hiding anything. These are the regulations. Please endure it.
His big hands groped the inside of my kimono. My neck, shoulders, chest, waist, hips, and thighs, he slowly groped me from head to toe. Why is he patting me down? I'm supposed to strip, aren't I? And then he could see that I have nothing. No weapons. Stop! I instinctively squealed from him touching my body.
Sorry, I never meant to do it like this.
He looked like he was in pain, and his voice was filled with regret. I spoke in my weepy voice. Shinpachi, tell me one thing. There's something I want to clear up. Who's more important, your comrades in the Shinsengumi or me?
Why?
After hearing what I said, Shinpachi looked distressed. He stayed silent. He won't say I'm more important. I felt so sad and alone because he wouldn't give me an immediate answer. I couldn't hold my tears in anymore. Tears overflowed from both of my eyes. Shinpachi looked tormented after seeing me like that. He then touched my cheek.
Chizuru, I'm sorry.
I didn't want to hear him apologize. I felt even more lifeless after hearing it. I couldn't see in front of me because of my endlessly flowing tears. Shinpachi stood there silent as he stared at me. He looked at me saying no words. I felt so lonely. Shinpachi hesitated as he spoke.
Chizuru, do you hate me? Can you forgive me?
In response to his question, I forgive you. You're just doing your duty, and you saved me from being stripped by Hijikata. Although, really, I wouldn't mind Hijikata stripping me, if it was a different route, if they actually gave him a route. I forgive you. It's not your fault, Shinpachi. I'm sure it's no one's fault. I'm sure that it's this era that's to blame. I don't know, maybe I'm being framed. So many people are fighting for their own sense of justice. It's a chaotic time.
Chizuru.
After saying those words, I couldn't stand being there any longer. I quickly fixed my kimono and turned to Shinpachi. I said it clearly. Goodbye. It was a sobbing voice, but it was strong and clear. It was a strong-willed voice. Shinpachi was startled as he stared at me. I left him and ran out of the room. Wait, why are they letting me run away? Shouldn't they capture me and imprison me? They really intend to let a spy go like Hijikata said? I wondered how long I walked. Everything around me was pitch black. I left the Shinsengumi base with nowhere to go. I strolled the streets of Kyoto. I smelled something familiar. It was a smell I detested. Burning? The smell. It can't be. It was as if I was being led by the smell. I ran toward it and... It was the fourth fire I'd ever seen, right before my eyes. The flames burned trees and houses. It relentlessly spread. I was speechless. For some reason, I always get involved with fires. It must be fate. As I was dumbfounded by the growing flames, a woman standing in front of the house screamed, "Someone, please, help me! My daughter's precious engagement gift is inside the house. It's a huge kimono." Chizuru, somebody's wedding kimono is not worth your life. If it continues, that precious kimono will burn up. After hearing the grieving woman, I couldn't just stand there anymore. I went over to the woman. I immediately covered myself with a bucket of water. Like a fool. I rushed into the house to protect the woman's important kimono. This is stupid. Why couldn't she save her own kimono? Couldn't she say her child was in there or something? I mean, I guess if it was her child, then she really should have gone in by herself. But a kimono? Come on. Well, I mean, everything's good other than that. It's just, seriously, a kimono? Well, anyway, I'm going to keep reading here. So, hope to see you in that next video coming soon. And I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.